today's session, it's around meditation, and I wanted to just explore various meditation practices, and really it's going to be a journey inwards, and the idea is to start with some gentle asana practice. We're going to do some sort of chest opening practices. I did some of this in a live session a couple of months ago now, and at the end of the session, somebody who'd been suffering from COVID, he was a fit guy, but it was his first time back doing any exercise at all, and he said that he really found it helpful. So and a few people have found that useful over the last few months. So we're going to do some chest opening work as part of our yoga asana. We're then going to move into some pranayama, some breathing, and we're going to be doing a 4-4-6-2 breath. So we breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 6, and then hold out for 2. And we're going to just follow a kind of the sort of classical yogic breath, where we're going to breathe into the belly for 1 round. We're going to breathe into the chest, lower chest for the 2nd round, and then we're going to breathe into the upper chest. And then we're going to get more subtler still as we go into a meditation. And I'm really I've been following some. Well, for many years I've been exploring Buddhist meditations. Buddhists are great at meditating, and so we're going to do a practice or an adaptation of a practice called Tonglen, which I'll describe a little bit more. And then eventually we're going to come to our yoga Nidra, our yogic sleep. So it's got quite a packed journey in this 90 minutes. But let's just start by moving my stuff out the way, because I'd hate to trip up over my yoga equipment. That wouldn't be very mindful. So I'll just clear this out of the way. And I wanted to start by just standing nice and tall. And you may want to just come to one side of your mat, because we're going to try some meditative walking. We're going to move into that. So essentially standing with the feet hip width apart, and just gently closing the eyes at first. So let's arrive. So we breathe in and breathe out. Just feeling the ground underneath the soles of the feet. It's a chance to start to look inwards, just to feeling into the physical body. I quite like to just do a quick test and just see which side I'm holding more weight onto. I'm right-handed. This is my right side, and sometimes, I find that my right leg is doing all the work and my left leg is having a bit of a ride. So let's just balance the weight on either side. Then we can start to scan up the body. Maybe you can feel that there's more weight on the heel. And so just leaning forward slightly, bringing the weight towards the front of the ankle. Just getting a feel of the thighs, just starting to gently engage the thighs. How does that feel? Just gentle movement. Coming up further still, we can, sometimes the emphasis is to sticking the backside out, but tucking the tailbone under slightly. Just being mindful of that. And that's how we can lift the chest, lift the sternum. And by lifting the sternum, how does that make you feel? Sort of physically, mentally. And then just checking that the head is nicely balanced on the neck. Crown of the head moving up towards the ceiling. Just enjoy the breath, just breathing in. Just tracking from the soles of the feet all the way up through to the crown of the head. And then coming all the way back down again. So breathing in. And breathing out. Just enjoying the breath. So just getting a feel for the body. How's the body feeling? How's the breath feeling? Where is the mind right now? So we're simply breathing in and breathing out. And then we become aware of the temperature of the air on the skin. Becoming aware of the sounds outside the room, inside the room. Just gently opening ourselves to the environment that we're in. Any smells around the space. Being aware of the nose, the olfactory system, how we breathe, how we can smell. Noticing any taste. And if you've got your eyes closed, then just gently open the eyes. And being aware of what you can see, the colors, the environment that you're in. Maybe if you get too distracted with the eyes open, you could just look down slightly. And then we become aware of the mind. What is happening in the mind right now? So we have all of the senses open. We're not blocking anything out. We're not trying to stop the thoughts happening. Thoughts happen. We're simply becoming aware. And then from there, we're going to start to move. So we're going to do this a meditative walk. We're just going to step forward with one foot. Just feeling how the weight transfers into that front foot. And once it's firmly planted on the ground, we can then move forward with the other leg. Just really connecting with the earth as we do this. With all of our senses open, we're fully aware of the environment that we're in. The sights, the sounds, the smells, the taste, the feeling on the skin. And if you wanted to, you could leave your mat. You could walk around the space, maybe feeling the different textures on the floor. I'm on a wooden floor, so I can feel the coolness of that, the hardness of it compared to the mat. So it's really being in the environment. And this is a really nice practice. Maybe if you were brave, you could walk this slowly when you're outside in a park, in nature. Maybe walk a little bit quicker so it doesn't look, if you're feeling self-conscious. But we're all yogis, we don't mind that kind of thing. But really just being outdoors in nature, doing a meditative walk. I'd always encourage as well to take the shoes and socks off. People don't mind as much as you think they may do, you know. Everybody may start doing it one day. And then we just come to a standing position. And again, just connect with the floor, breathing in and breathing out. Just breathing in and breathing out. And then gently close the eyes. Just really connecting with that space. And then from here, we're going to just gently open the eyes again, just lowering the chin to the chest, open the eyes. And then as you breathe in, arms come out to the sides, palms facing forward, and exhale, coming back in again. So just breathing in, and every breath in, the arms move up a little bit higher. Just enjoying this breath and enjoying the opening you can feel in the chest as the arms get higher and higher. Breathing in and out through the nose, because as you know, the nose is like our little heating and ventilation system of the body. So it heats up the air, it moisturizes it, so it gets absorbed much easier. Opening up the chest as the arms come up. And then eventually arms will come all the way up. And just bringing the feet together. Just bringing the feet together, heels and toes. So palms facing each other. Lifting up through the chest and just a gentle back bend. So we're not coming too far. Just lifting up again through the sternum, enjoying this opening. And then from there, let's just gently fold forward. So coming halfway down. So even if you're super flexible, then just halfway down for now. Bringing the weight forward slightly. Lengthen the front of the body. And then a little bit further, if that's okay with you. And then bending the knees, we're going to engage the thighs, the glutes, the pelvic floor, the abdomen, and lift up with a flat back. So we're using all of these muscle groups here to lift. And then once more, arms coming all the way up. And you can either have the hands facing each other or palms together. Maybe you could even interlink the fingers with the index fingers pointed upwards. And then we're going to just do a little side bend, just a little swaying palm. Really nice. Opening in the body, just exploring how the body's feeling. Keeping that length on either side of the waist. And then once you've done an equal number on both sides, then coming up to the middle, lifting up through the sternum, finding this length, and then once more opening up the chest, pressing the hips forward, keeping the head in line with the arms, and then coming into this gentle forward bend. To ease off that, it's all about this pose and counter pose, very simple. And from there, we're going to come down onto the floor. So coming onto the knees. And we're going to come into a wide-legged child's pose to start with on the floor. So having the big toes together and having the knees separated as widely as they'll comfortably go. And so sitting back onto the heels, breathing in length in the front of the body, and then easing yourself down into this child's pose with the arms are active, forehead is on the ground. And if this isn't accessible, by the way, with the forehead on the ground, then stacking the fists on top of each other is good. Having the elbows nice and wide. Fists can be stacked on top of each other, or the palms could be stacked on top of each other. But whichever position you're in, with every in-breath, just coming up slightly, finding that length in the front of the body, and then release down. So it's a little bit of an active movement, this. And then whichever position now, arms coming forwards, gently easing yourself up, stepping the knees together so that they're about hip width apart, and sitting back down into a more traditional child's pose. Again, with the arms forward, forehead either on the ground or stacked on top of the hands or fists. And then breathing in, coming up. And we're going to come into this very simple cat-cow sequence. So as you exhale, we're going to arch the back. It's just being really mindful of how this feels in the body. And as you breathe in, lifting the chest, lifting the sitting bones. And just move through that a few times. Just being interested in what is happening in the body. So the yoga practice for me or the asana practice it's just taking a little bit of time to do some of these simple postures, just getting an idea of how the body is today. Sometimes if I've been sitting for too long, the hips and the lower back can be stiff. And this is just a way of lubricating those joints. So really opening up through the chest. And then we're going to come into a flat back position. And we're going to just straighten that right leg behind you. Straighten the right leg and the toes tucked under. Engage the abdomen as you do so. And then we're going to straighten the left arm. So it's right leg back, left arm forward. So it's diagonals. And if you wanted to take it a little bit further, you can raise that leg off the floor. So we're coming into this kind of superhero type posture. I'm sure it's got a name. And then release from there. Breathe in and breathe out. And that's come to the other side. So it's the left foot back this time, the left toes tucked under, and really feel that opening in the back of the left foot. Then the right arm forward. So again, it's opposites. So the back of the neck is long. So we're looking down to the floor. And then if you wanted to raise that back leg, and as you do so, you notice the abdomen. If you've got a really nice straight line, there's energy moving from the fingertips to the heel. And the abdomen is engaged, it starts to engage, it starts to play. A little bit of heat that's generated there. And release from there. Tucking the toes under now. And with the toes tucked under, we're just going to come back through a child's pose. So really opening the backs of the backs of the feet. And then coming up onto all fours. And breathe. So the next stage of this, we're going to lift that right leg up so it's bent. And we've got an arch in the back. This is Vajrasana. And then as you exhale, I'm going to bring the knee to the forehead. And breathing in, open. And exhale, we close down. Breathing in, open. And exhale and closing down. Let's just do one more in this position. In this posture, open. And then close. And then release that knee down. And we're going to come onto the other side. So left leg up. Gonna open the chest. And then arching the back. So forehead comes towards that left knee this time. Breathing in and open. And then closing down. Open up. And closing down. And just do one more on this side. And then coming back into this child's pose. And as we come down this time, we're going to bring the hands by the side of the feet if you can. And if you need a block as well under the head, that's absolutely fine. But draping the shoulders over the knees. And then just release all the way down into this very compact child's pose. And the breath is restricted in this movement. So what we're going to do is just make the most of this and breathing into the back of the heart, side of the ribs, really expanding all of those intercostal muscles. Just enjoying this space that's created for the lungs and the heart. And then preparing to move, so gently bringing the hands forward. I'm going to tuck the toes under. So we're going to come in, kneel up, I'm going to kneel up and sitting back onto the heels, interlinking the fingers, and I'm breathing in. Opening up through the chest, remember to tuck the tailbone under slightly so we're not overarching the back. Notice how the lumbar spine always seems to be able to move quite a lot. So using the muscle groups around the lower back to restrict slightly that movement. And then release down, and then interlinking the fingers in the opposite way. So there's always a natural way, isn't there, of doing things, and then we just shove the fingers along one, and then breathing in, open up through the chest, and then release. And so this could be quite uncomfortable on the backs of the feet. So this is the counter pose. So we either just kneel down with the feet flat on the floor, so you can feel this opening from the knees all the way to the toes, or you can take it a little bit further and pressing the fingertips into the ground to lift the knees off the ground. But you will know from your own body whether that suits you or not. So no sharp pains or discomfort, please. And then from there, we're going to sit to one side of the feet and then come down onto the floor. So rolling down onto the floor. Arms out to the side, and we're going to have the feet quite far away from the body. There's almost going to be like a 90-degree angle from the between the lower legs and the thighs. So we're not having the feet right into the body. We're going to do that shortly, but for now, having a nice bit of distance there. Arms out to the side, breathing in, and then gently exhaling out, and the knees come to the right side. Breathing in as the knees come up, and exhale them down to the left. And if you wanted to, you could just move the head as well, so that the head kind of moves in the opposite direction to the knees. Very simple movements, but just being interested in how the bodies respond to this, how the hips are feeling when you do this, how the back feels, how does it feel energetically, how does the breath feel. And then next time the knees have been on your left side, let's bring them up to the middle, and then gently bring the knees in towards the chest. And then interlinking the fingers and just doing a gentle movement back and forwards with the knees. It's a bit of a jelly wobble thing. It's quite a vigorous movement if you can manage that. Just to release the muscles around the lower back, and then coming to stillness. And then from there, going to bring the feet down towards the floor. And this time the heels are quite close to the body, quite close to the buttocks. And then, because we're going to come into a bridge position now, and we'll just check that we can see the outer edges of the feet and the outer edges of the hips. Feet are parallel, and keeping the knees and the rest of the legs parallel. Palms facing down. And then, first of all, take a breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to just tuck the tailbone under, just lifting the tailbone and maybe the sacrum slightly off the ground, using the abdominal muscles. And then release. So exhale up and inhale all the way back down again. So it's connecting with these muscle groups and just noticing which muscle groups are involved here. Just noticing the role of the abdomen and the buttocks, the thighs, the pelvic floor. And if all of these muscle groups aren't playing today, then encourage them. And then from there, next time we've got the tailbone tucked under, as you breathe in, then just rolling all the way up into this bridge, and then rolling all the way back down again. So breathing in as you're peeling the spine off the mat, and then rolling all the way back down. Just enjoy this movement. Let's just do it a few times. Emphasis on opening up through the chest. And then next time you're up, we're going to stay up for a few breaths, a maximum of 5 breaths. But really enjoy this opening. And how does this feel? How does it feel on the thighs? The hips pressing up, the chest opening. And then I make that about 3 breaths, and that's enough for me for today. Release down. And then gently counterpose that back bend by bringing the knees into the chest, interlinking the fingers around the knees, and then moving the knees from side to massage the lower back into the floor. So just got 2 more postures now to do, and we're gonna. So you've got 2 choices here. You can either repeat what we've just done. You can come up into bridge, or if you're feeling energetic, then we're going to come up into this reverse tabletop. So it's probably not in my top 10 favorite postures. It's quite challenging one. Quite challenging on the wrists because the fingers are pointing towards the front of the mat, but if you wanted to, you can have the fingers pointing back. So it's quite challenging on the wrists, so it's understandable if you don't want to do this. But we're going to do it 3 times. Okay, we're not going to hold it anyway, but we're just going to give this a go. So you can either do the bridge, or you can come into this tabletop if you're feeling crazy. So take a big breath in and breathe out, and then breathing in and lift, pressing those hips up and keeping the head in line with the body, and release. Breathing in, lift, open up through the chest, hips moving upwards, and then release. Quite challenging on the shoulders as well as the wrists. And once more, up. Now I said we weren't going to hold it up, but I'm going to hang around here for a few breaths if you want to join me. Not for long. Pressing those hips up and then release. And let's come down onto the floor. I quite like to give the whole body a bit of a stretch, lengthen the whole of the body, arms behind the head. So pressing the heels away and the fingertips away, and then right side, right leg, right hand, right arm, and then left side, pressing them away. So just doing that a few times. And then for the last of our postures during this chest opener session, we're going to come into fish, the asana. And the trick with fish is that once you've got the hang of it, it's quite straightforward. But the main thing is to bring the arms, this is the way I do it anyway, bring the arms behind the body, palms facing down. So arms are as close to each other as they'll come when you're lying on the floor, of course. So just finding that position, legs out straight on the floor in front of you, and using the elbows here. So don't lift the hips, keep the hips relaxed and down. And we're going to just press into the floor and slide onto the top of the head into this fish posture. So we open through the throat, open through the chest, really pressing with those elbows into the ground. Opening, really nice posture. It's often done as part of a shoulder stand sequence. But for today, we're just going to come into this and just enjoy the chest opener. And as with all of these things, a maximum of 5 breaths. And once you've done your 5 long, smooth breaths, then just slide your head down. Release the arms. Bring in the hands behind your head, interlock the fingers behind the head, and then just counterpose this by bringing the chin towards the chest. And then release. And let's keeping the heels together, but let the feet flop out to the side. Arms come by the side of the body, about a couple of feet away, palms facing upwards. So it's a very formal shavasana. Just spending a few moments breathing in, breathing out, just enjoying the breath, just examining the effects that the asana practice has had on the body, on the mind. How does it feel? And using every exhalation to release the physical body into the ground. And then just gently preparing to move. Rolling onto your right hand side. And then just gently coming up into a comfortable seated position. So for this part of the session, we're going to move on to some breathing. And depends on how you feel about this and how comfortable you are. You can either sit in a chair, in a nice upright chair, however you sat, just make sure the spine is nice and upright. You can either sit on a meditation stool or cushion, or a couple of blocks. If you've got a couple of blocks handy, you can always just place them in this kind of way so that they helps to sort of tilt the pelvis forward. But for this, I'm going to get my meditation stool out and sit in a kind of assisted Vajrasana. So sort of kneeling up. And having one of these meditation stools is quite good. It looks a bit wonky at first because it is angled. It's not my bad woodworking skills, although they're not that good. But and we're going to just simply sit in whichever is the most comfortable position. The spine is upright. And really, if sitting is not comfortable for you, then do feel free to lie down. So when we first sit, we're going to just be aware of the ground underneath the body. This is a foundation. And you can either have the hands on the thighs or the knees, depending on how you're sitting, or stacked on top of each other. For today, I'm happy in a position with the palms facing upwards on the thighs in a kneeling position. And for this practice, we're going to include our Ugi Breath. So the Ugi Breath, as you'll know, is where you lift the back of the throat. So you make that gentle wave sound as the breath moves in and out. And if you want to move it on as well from there for this practice, and if you know Kachari Mudra, and that is the mudra where the tongue, the tip of the tongue touches the soft palate towards the back of the mouth. So you can adopt the Ujjayi breath and Kachari Mudra. So it's entirely up to you how you want to do that. If you Kachari Mudra it does make the tongue ache. So you can, if it gets too much, you can always release it and then bring it back in again if you wanted to. But over time with practice, it aches less from my experience. I'm not saying it doesn't stop aching. So just taking a normal breath in. And breathing out. And another big breath in. And out. And with Ujjayi breath and Kachari Mudra, if you wanted to, we're going to start the practice. So we're going to just place the hands on the abdomen so that the middle fingers are connected above the navel. So for the first part of the practice, we're going to be breathing in to the hands or the abdomen and breathing out through there. So let's start the practice. So exhale and then breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, and then just relax, just bringing the hands down onto the knees or the thighs with the palms open up towards the ceiling, to the sky, and just breathe naturally. Taking a few moments to notice how that feels in the body, in the mind, the emotions, just on a purely energetic level. So we're going to move on to the next stage of this breath now. So this time we're going to place the hands on the lower part of the rib cage. And I should say as well, when you place the hands on the body, just feeling that lovely heat, it's like a healing connection from the hands, quite a nurturing feeling. And we're going to start by taking a big breath in. And a big breath out. Another big breath in through the nose. And out. And then you can adopt the Ugi Breath and Kachari Mudra as we breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2. And then just relax. Palms facing up on the thighs. Breathing naturally in and out through the nose. And just noticing how this feels on the body and the mind energetically. I'm just going to do the final stage now of this practice. We're going to just place the hands quite high up on the chest, on the clavicles. So that's the place we're going to breathe into. So it's breathing into the front of the chest and the back of the chest as well, of course. Taking a big breath in and out to start. And another big breath in and out. And then with Ugi Breath and Kachari Mudra, breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, and then just relax. Just relax the arms down, palms facing upwards. Just breathe naturally. Just enjoy the breath. Just taking a note of how that feels in the body. It can be quite challenging, that final stage on the arms and the shoulders, so I reduce the number of rounds to 3 for this practice. So we're going to move now into the meditation session, although it's the whole session really has been a meditation of sorts. It's been a moving meditation all the way through to one more of a stillness. So you might want just to stretch the legs for a few moments. If you've been seated if you've been on a meditation stool, you might want to swap over to a cushion, or you might want to move into a chair. So do be comfortable. That is my mantra. It's quite a good one. I quite like the old trusty cushion with a couple of pads to rest the legs onto. So just take your time. And once you've found your comfortable seat, whichever that is, then just find some connection with the ground to start with. And finding a hand position which works for you, either hands on the knees or palms facing upwards. You might want to adopt a mudra. Or you might want to have the hands stacked on top of each other. But whichever position you're in, just make sure that the spine is nice and upright. So all of the physical yoga practice, for me, it's this journey to be able to be strong and flexible enough to sit still. So the crown of the head is moving towards the ceiling. The sternum is lifted slightly. So it's a posture of relaxed alertness. So I think it was one of the meditation masters who said they learned how to meditate by watching a cat next to a mouse hole. It's that kind of stillness, that relaxedness, but such alertness and awareness. So once we've found our seat, then bringing the awareness into the center of the head. The very center of the head. It's known as the Argya Chakra. So resting the awareness there. Breathing in and breathing out. Shoulders relaxed. Face relaxed. And then allowing the awareness to descend into the heart space. How does it feel? How does the heart feel? And how does it feel to be present in that space? At times, you need a lot of courage to be in that space. And in Buddhism in particular, there's a lot of talk about the heart-mind. So having these two apparently separate entities connected. So we can think logically using the brain, but we can also think compassionately using the heart. But imagine if we could have that combination of the two, that heart-mind. So we're going to do a very short Tonglen practice now, which is a Buddhist meditation practice. So the practice is to visualize yourself as an image sat directly in front of you, facing you. But that replica, it's a completely empty vessel. So from the outside, it looks totally identical to you right now. And then from your own heart and you connect into the heart of the empty vessel. And just be aware of any tensions you may be physically, mentally, any anger or upset or general stuff that us humans have to deal with. And allow that to rise, and then from it create black smoke, which moves from your heart into the empty vessel. So let that transfer across with every exhalation. And gradually the empty vessel just fills with this black smoke. The stuff which isn't helping us. If you find visualization difficult, then just acknowledge that this is happening, being aware of your heart space. And as you're sat there opposite your replica, just acknowledge the pain and suffering and the stuff which is inside that empty vessel. Some of that stuff may even be represented in different colors. Emerging from the black smoke. And to your replica in your own mind, just say, may you be safe and well. May you be safe and well. May you be happy. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be at peace. May you be safe and well. May you be happy. May you be at peace. And then as you breathe in, the next few inhalations, breathing into the heart space and using the compassion of the heart to breathe in that black smoke, but as it does so, it transforms it. So the black smoke is moving from the replica and it's being transformed by the compassion of your own heart. Don't be too interested in what that stuff is. Just acknowledge that that energy is being transformed. May you be safe and well. May you be happy. May you be at peace. And that replica of you is now once more an empty vessel. And look towards it with compassion. As the empty vessel disappears. Breathing in, breathing out. And just wishing yourself well. May I be safe and well. May I be happy. May I be at peace. So you can either stay seated if you wanted to for the rest of this session. Or if you wanted to, we can move on into the final part of the session, which is a very short yoga nidra. So you might want to just stretch the legs out. Just breathing in and reaching up above the head, opening the entire length of the body. You can just twist to the right side and to the left side. And you can, just to release the spine, just do a gentle forward fold. So if you are going to move on, then just without disturbing yourself too much, finding a cushion for the back of the head and maybe some pillows, or even as well a blanket if it's depending on what the temperature is like where you are. And just bringing the cushions underneath the knees, making those adjustments, getting yourself nice and comfortable. And bringing the arms by the side of the body, palms facing upwards. So we're in this very nicely supported savasana. Breathing in and breathing out. So whichever position you're in, just start by being aware of the whole of the physical body. Just imagine the breath as it moves in through the soles of the feet, coming all the way up through the body and out through the crown of the head. As you exhale, the breath moves down from the crown of the head all the way through the body and out through the soles of the feet. So being open, just remaining open through the crown of the head. And we're going to visualize some beautiful, nurturing, healing liquid. Maybe it could be an amber liquid or whatever color you choose. It just moves in through the crown of the head. And gently starts to move into the body, which is an empty vessel. This amber liquid moves down into the toes, the big toes, second, third, fourth, and little toe. You can feel it moving right up the foot into the heel. through into the ankles, into the lower leg and the knees, into the thighs, fill in the front of the thighs, the back of the thighs, all the way up into the groin and the buttocks. This beautiful nurturing liquid filling up the empty vessel of your body. Moving further up into the abdomen, the chest, shoulders, into the upper arms, elbows, lower arms, the wrists, all the way through to the hands, into the thumbs, the index fingers, the middle fingers, the ring fingers, and the little fingers. Filling up further into the neck, the whole of the neck, and the whole of the head. So this beautiful nurturing liquid fills the whole of the body. And any tensions there may be in the body, however those tensions present themselves, just visualize them as tiny bubbles in the liquid. And then on the next breath, as you exhale out, then just imagine that that liquid starts to flush out through the soles of the feet, taking all of that tension, negativity, unhelpful stuff away. Just leaving your body once again as an empty vessel. As you breathe in and breathe out. And then starting to become aware of the weight of the body. The apparent solidity of the body. Feeling the connection with the ground. The temperature of the air on the skin. The temperature of the air on the nostrils as you breathe in and out. The sounds inside the room. The sounds outside the room. Any smells. Any taste. Being aware of the mind and any thoughts and the quality of the mind. Being aware of the room that you're in. Starting to wriggle the fingers and toes. Circling the wrists and the ankles. Lengthening the breath, breathing deeper and deeper. Bringing prana, energy into the body. And on the next breath in, reaching up and over the head with both arms. Yawning out the muscles of the face. Giving yourself a little smile. And then rolling onto your right hand side when you're ready. And coming into a simple seated position. Just to seal the practice, I thought we could chant Om 3 times. And this is through Zoom, and sometimes the voice can cut out if it's too noisy for my part. So I will be chanting, even though it might go quiet. So let's just bring the hands into this prayer position. Taking a big breath in and out. And then the next big breath in. Breathing in. And one more breath in. Just enjoying the vibration following the chant. Lowering the chin to the chest. Open the eyes and lift the gaze. Namaste. So we had to pack quite a bit into that session. I realized the time there, but we didn't start until about 5 past or 10 past. So I hope that you're not in a rush to get anywhere. What is the rush? What is the rush? I often ask myself that.